So, now it's my turn to ask you. What did you just make me watch?
What, I thought you said you must drag the rock?
KOJ!
No.
Okay. Well, I guess we're talking about G Gundam. Or Mobile Fighter G Gundam, if you want to say the long title like a pleb.
No one fucking called it that.
I mean, hey, it was called Mobile Fighting Legend G Gundam, apparently was its original title. Anyway.
Yeah, adding more words.
So yes, G Gundam. I'm surprised I haven't seen it up till now, to be honest. But I'm kind of glad I did now. For those who don't know, G Gundam aired in Jap land from April '94 to March of '95, and was done by director... Oh no, why? Yasuhiro Imigawa. Oh, that one wasn't too bad. Who also apparently worked on Berserk, the good Berserk anime, not the one we don't talk about.
I mean, that explains all the Gundams getting decapitated. Not gonna...
Anyway, it would air on Toonami from August to October of '02, which I kind of forgot Toonami liked doing that, airing one episode a day. Now that I think about it, that would explain how they got through DBZ so quickly and kept having to do reruns all the damn time.
Yeah, they did do that.
And Bandai even said themselves the main reason they wanted to put G Gundam or any Gundam on Toonami as quickly as possible was how well Wing did, which don't worry, we're gonna get to that one eventually. I remember a few episodes of that, so that one might as well be considered a blind watch too at this point. So...
We'll get to Edgelord Gundam later.
You know, it's kind of stupid to think about. Gundam Wing aired a year after G Gundam in Japan, but over here it aired a year and a half earlier. And it's like, if it wasn't for So, to be honest, G Gundam was more or less meant to be a reboot for the whole franchise, because the popularity in Japan was dwindling. So they brought it out, it did well, and they're like, oh, okay, well now we can continue, let's make Gundam Wing. And then over here in the US, it was the opposite. Gundam Wing was the one they aired on Toonami, and it did so well. They're like, oh, let's bring back G Gundam, which is the earlier show.
And it's just a continuation of the most popular Gundams tend to be the ones not connected to the extended universe.
You in the UC?
Yeah.
Oh god, we're gonna have to talk about the UC at some point. At least not today. This Gundam stands on its own.
Because there's so much of it, you would literally need an encyclopedia in front of you.
Okay, so what's G Gundam about? Well, it's set in the far future, or as people have dubbed it, the future century timeline, I guess. Where there are neo-colonies set up in space, because it's always space. And every 4 years, they hold a tournament with each nation representative being able to pilot a Gundam and competing in a tourney, and the winner gets to have their country be the owner of space.
That's how you buy space.
Yeah, if you couldn't tell from the premise, this show knows how stupid it is and is leaning all into it. And
it just keeps going. Just when you think it's over, it slapped you across the face saying, bitch, please.
Yeah. Of course, because it's Japan in the early 90s, creating Gundams to represent each nation, you know what you're in for.
Well, also because it's the early 90s in general.
Oh, hey, Neo Spain's Gundam? It's a bull!
That's about it. It didn't even really do anything.
Neo Greece Gundam don't die. The Zeus Gundam.
Yeah.
Neo Norway, the Viking Gundam. You guys get it? Norse mythology? I think my favorite though, because, you know, I'm kind of a dick and I have to laugh at this, is Neo Mexico, where the colony is literally shaped like a sombrero. And the original, I guess I'll bring up this dub change real quick. The original Gundam name in Japan was Tequila Gundam, because of course, over here they just made it.
This aired on Toonami.
Yeah, so they just changed it to Spike Gundam in the dub. Which there's a lot of dub changes, we'll get to that in a bit, but yeah. I've seen people online like, this is why G Gundam doesn't hold up well. It's problematic. It's like, shut the fuck up. No. Just turn your mind off and have fun with it. Stop taking everything so damn seriously.
The show doesn't take itself serious.
Exactly. Anyway, our main character is Domon Kashu, who's on a quest to... Kasu. I know, I butchered that. But the point is...
How do you butcher something you heard for 49 episodes?
Okay, it happens to the best of us. Anyway, as you've heard from the meme, he's trying to track down his brother, because his brother apparently revived the Dark Gundam. And if anyone's about to say Devil Gundam, I told you we'd get to the dub changes in a bit. But yeah, so he wants to track it down because the Dark Gundam is apparently going to be responsible for the end of all mankind and his evil shit. And, well, you all can figure it out from there, I guess. He meets the other nation's representatives along the way before they eventually meet up at the tourney and shit gets real. But alright, how's the animation? Which is kind of an unfair question because we were watching the remastered Blu-rays that came out a few years ago.
The sad part is it probably puts someone to lazy how fast shows to shame nowadays.
Well, that's why a lot of people say hand-drawn, because since when this came back, it was hand-drawn back in the day or whatever. That it, yeah, hand-drawn's always going to look better than the computer-generated bullshit.
Or anything Dean can muster. Anyways.
Okay, we know Dean has bad animation, man. Alright. As far as the OST goes, it's your typical late 80s, early 90s anime OST. You know what you're getting. I don't know, a lot of it kind of reminded me of the typical 80s martial arts flicks, which would make sense since that's one of the things this was heavily inspired by.
No, what gave it away? Everything?
Everything. Anyway, I guess it's time to get to the dub, which thankfully we haven't talked about any of these voice actors before. Which I would hope not, being as how this was dubbed out of Canada's B-tier studio, Blue Water. So it'd be kind of weird if...
Don't make someone recommend a Vanguard season to you.
Anyway... Well, the ADR directors for this show are Jonathan Love and Terry Snellgrove. That is a weird last name, person. And you might be wondering, are these ADR directors assholes? One of them is, but they're only a minor recurring character, so they get a pass.
And they use the silliest voice ever, so they also get a pass.
Okay, so let's run down the mains. We're not going to go through every literal nation here, because we would be here all day. Like,
and some of them don't even fucking talk, like... Who the fuck is the Zebra Gundam, and what nation was it even a part of?
I don't remember. I really don't. But alright. So first we have Domon. Voiced by Mark Gatha. Hey, I might not have seen this show, but I'm still nostalgic for this fella. He's X in Mega Man X8, and Maverick Hunter X, and Command Mission.
Speaking of the Sigma virus.
We'll get to that. But yeah, there's also Captain Spike and Dice, another Toonami show, and Irvine and Zoid's Chaotic Sentry. Is that always in his shit that relies heavily on mechs? Well, I guess Mega Man kind of counts as a whole mech thing, right? Humanoid robot shit.
I don't know, I never seen Zoids, but I know a surprising amount of people that did.
What about Dice? What? I know it on tonami, apparently.
Maybe?
Anyway, yeah. How to put it, Domon is, well, most people will tell you right up front, he's kind of an asshole. And a bit of an idiot, too. Because the lesson he needs to be taught again repeatedly is not to be so temperamental. And every time he learns the lesson, a few episodes later, he ends up going angry again really quickly.
Goated.
So, yeah, but aside from that, he's still a likable protag. I don't know. You just love... Because the show paints him in such an over-the-top light, it's practically daring you to hate any of these characters.
And there are a lot of characters, especially one everybody knows at this point.
Yeah, we'll get to him in a second. But yeah, so Mark does a good job as Domon, and if anyone's going to say, well, the dub sounds dated, it was 20 years ago, come on.
Probably holds up better than dubs coming out today, because there's shitty script changes anyways, hi.
I mean, the ironic thing is you're saying that when this has a shit ton of script changes. Anyway... I think the most surprising thing of all is looking it up and finding out Mark Gatham would move on to become an orthopedic surgeon.
That's definitely a profession change.
Just imagine that. I was like, you know, he's coming in, he's like, alright, you're gonna get all my love, my anger, and all of my surgical equipment. But okay, after him, it's time for the main event that everyone knows from this show, Master Asia, Domon Sensei.
That's literally his name. He only has a name in
I guess the extended universe, or something.
In a manga adaptation, or something.
But yeah, he's known as Master Asia because he's the undefeated of the East and won several Gundam tourneys in a row.
Or, as he refers to himself later, he wants to be Master Super Asia.
You cannot get mad at Master Asia. He makes this damn show. His own horse pilots its own Gundam. Like, how can you not think that's amazing? Like, anyway, he's voiced by David Petit. Who's, hey, Ox King, Shenron, and Turtle from Dragon Ball's Blue Water dub. Well, of course, that dub had lots of double casting, too. Anyway, Hosenki and Inuyasha, and Gregory in the Gregory Horror Show anime, which I haven't seen that one, to be honest. But I can tell you this, in Inuyasha, he's doing a silly voice. But in G Gundam, he's doing the Master Asia voice, which for some reason some of his lines kind of reminded me of Jameson Price. You hear it, right?
Yeah.
But he's over the top as hell, and it's amazing. I mean, he even pilots the Master Gundam.
That's an ill-fitting name for that gun. But I'm pretty sure that also has to do with some of the production issues.
Yeah, this anime is notoriously known for having production issues behind the scenes.
Should be surprised it came out at all after hearing all that.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to be honest, Master Asia, he's easily the best character in the show.
Exactly what you've been hearing about.
Yeah, David Petit is probably the best voice actor for that reason, because he just hams it up so much. I don't think you'll find a single person that hates this character, and if you do, they're wrong. That's all I'm going to say.
He's supposed to...
What?
And he has two Gundams, man. Come on, even though the other one was just a disguise, I guess.
Well, after Master Asia, we have Rain, Domon's mechanic. I guess on and off again, GF. Yeah, they get into fights a lot, because Domon, again, is kind of a dick. She's played by Jennifer Holder, one of the most annoying names to look up, because it's that's a very common name. I also
according
found
to
out
your
when
results-
researching it. Yeah, I also found out when researching it. Jennifer is used as an insult. I've never heard that before, but
That's a
okay.
new one.
The only other role I could find for her was Videl in the Dragon Ball Blue Water dub. That's basically it. Because she has
there's
no
so many
Wikia
Dragon
page.
Ball
I couldn't even
dubs.
find. I couldn't find an IMDb page on her or anything.
I mean, yeah, it's like one of the most common names, but you should be able to find fucking something.
I'm sure someone out there's like, dude, she was in this. You missed this. Anyway, she does alright, I guess. I mean, with a lot of these voice actors, you could tell that they're Canadian as fuck. That's the best way to describe it.
And the ones we've heard more recently have improved.
Hey, one of them's coming up next, actually.
Yeah.
Americans representative from Neo America, Jiminy Crockett. Yes, I know. Just, or the
And
name.
they are very proud of his first name because they say it more than any other thing in this entire show.
Oh yeah, we should probably go over what Gundams they pilot and their silly changes. So yeah, Domon, people know him as piloting the Shining Gundam and then later the Burning Gundam. And I guess we'll get into that dub change real quick. Yeah, the Burning Gundam's the God Gundam in Japan.
But it was tonami.
Yeah, and back in the
And
late
religion
90s,
is
early
bad.
2000s, you can't have religious connotations. Even though you can mention demons in this show, you're not allowed to mention God or devil. Because, of course not.
I know, unfortunately, you didn't get to hear him yell Godfinger.
Yeah, the burning finger is super, and Japan is called the God finger. Anyway, so yeah, Chivity Crockett pilots the Gundam Mexter, which is a boxer. Yeah.
A boxing Gundam. It literally has its pauldrons come off and form boxing gloves on its fists. And its torso armor comes off like a shirt would. It's really dumb, but it's this show.
Apparently, his design was all supposed to be inspired by cowboys and football players. Because again, America.
I mean, I don't think he ever wore a cowboy hat.
Well, that's what the inspiration was. I don't know, man.
Oh, you mean like the Statue of Liberty Death Laser?
Okay. Anyway, he's voiced by Roger Rhodes, who, honestly, we all know as MC Maya from Cardfight Vanguard. Because, yeah, me and Dyer unfortunately caught up with that, even the latest season, whatever the hell that is. He's also Kondo in Flame of Recca, which I've heard decent things about that show, so we'll probably cover that at some point. And Vegeta in the Blue Water dub. Getting a lot of Dragon Ball people. And, yeah, he's basically the arrogant smartass of the group. I don't know, a lot of his lines kind of reminded me of Han Solo. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Where he's like, well, I mean, hey, Domon, if you're gonna treat Rain like shit, well, I'll always hit her up if you want. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, they treat someone like that when he's being an asshole. Unlike some other shows that would treat him in the writers.
Yeah. I mean, hey, he has his own harem, which... Yeah, we're not gonna go through all of them, because guys, we'd be here all day. We have enough mains to get through.
Yeah, we don't need 4 on top of it.
Yeah. Anyway, I think he does alright. I could tell you this, after hearing him in Vanguard, which was dubbed literally over a decade later, he definitely improved, as we were saying. After him, we have George from Neo France, piloting the Rose Gundam. Because, you know, Rose motif, that's a fencer! Get it? Because that's French.
He even has one of those shoulder capes on his Gundam.
Oh my
it's
god.
Subtle.
I cannot leave this on Twitch. They're gonna claim that I'm being race-hating or something just for talking about this shit.
Well, they are now.
Anyway. So yeah, George is voiced by Scott Roberts, who me and I also know as Shin from Cardfight Vanguard. He's also Rekka from Flame of Recca. And
So this one
Gohan in the
Keys
Blue Water
Sniper.
dub. Yeah, he's Yuta and Kiesniver. Which, again, after hearing him as Card Fight and Kiesniver more recently, he's another voice actor that's definitely improved. And, yeah, if y'all couldn't tell with George in the nation he represents, he's the typical, proper one that's all about honor and fighting fair, etc. And being a knight.
He's French.
Anyway, so yeah. Our next main is Neo China's representative, which, oh, I didn't even mention this. Okay, so real quick. Neo China and Neo Hong Kong both have representatives. Because Neo Hong Kong's rep is Master Asia. What kind of bullshit is that?
Well, you know they succeeded from each other.
No. China are pricks, alright?
Now you definitely can't keep.
I wasn't planning on it, honestly, before we even started this. Anyway, so yeah, Neo China's representative is Sai Shi. His whole thing is he wants to revive the Shaolin Temple, and yeah, we kept quoting him K9. Yep, for the Shaolin! Anyway, and he pilots the Dragon Gundam, which, I guess, yeah, Chinese dragon, sure.
Sort of. Yeah, what about the episode preview for the episode where he showed up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get to the narrator in a second. The narrator is amazing. He's definitely one that deserves a shout out.
The narrator is his own character, and man, is that a character name, bro?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But anyways, so Sai Shi is voiced by Zoe Slusar, who is Goku from the Blue Water dub, and Noboro from Future Card Buddy Fight. And that is the only two anime voice roles I could find from them. That is it. But hey, we got a Goku on the cast list. It's got to count for something, right?
Yeah.
You gotta think it's hilarious that Sean Schimmel over there is acting like he owns Goku, when it's like, dude, you're like the 40th person to voice him. And you're not special. Anyway, Shita's alright as Sai Shi. Because, yeah, he's the youngest member of the mains and all that stuff. I'm sure y'all could guess his character arc, learning to grow up, etc. Anyway, after him, we have Argo from Neo-Russia with the Bolt Gundam. Speaking of someone who barely has anything, probably because their name is so common. Argo is voiced by Stephen Hallgate, who is Chan Yar in Zeta Gundam. And that's all I could find. I'm serious.
And he has one of those voices that sounds familiar.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, he's... Yeah, so, the Bolt Gundam, is this a Stereotype 2 die?
Not really.
I heard somewhere that in the conceptual stage of the anime it was going to be the Vodka Gundam originally, which if that's true, of fucking course it was.
No, that's a stereotype.
Yeah, I want to be honest. Yeah, his whole thing is, I guess we could go over the motivations real quick. So Chimney Crockett, his dream is to, you know, get famous and make America great again. See what I did there? You obviously know Domon's. We went over that. George's is to fight for the pride of his country. And Argo's is, well, he was a former space pirate, so he wants to free his friends by winning the tournament.
He also has a bomb strapped to his chest. And
yeah, it's literally the Suicide Squad. I'm gonna be honest, Argo did not get as much as I thought he would, even though his backstory is kind of interesting. So because of that, I don't know, he's the one that left the least amount of impression on me. Because you remember, right, in the tournament everyone got like 3 or 4 episodes, he got like 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stephen Hallgate did alright with him. Afterwards, we have KOG! What? Come on, that meme is begging for it to be here. But anyways, that's Domon's brother. And he's voiced by Matt Embry, who apparently founded his own film studio called Spotlight Films, and it says his most famous film that he directed is World of Hurt. I've never heard of this movie in my life. Have you?
I don't know. I don't tend to watch Canadian movies.
Anyway, the only other anime voice credit I could find from him is Fancy Lala, where he voiced Morio. Which is a show I honestly don't think I've ever heard of before either.
Now you have. Don't you feel special?
But yeah, so Kyoji, I mean, this is another voice actor who does decent, especially when he's double casted, because he also voices Neo Germany's Shorts Brooder.
The classic German ninja.
You know, for anyone who knows German out there, you're gonna see Brooder's whole story twist coming a mile away. And the stupid part is, Di, from what I could look up, they wanted that to be a mystery that drive the plot forward. It's like, okay, then don't air this in Germany.
They wanted it to be a mystery when they were very not subtle about it.
But yeah, as both characters, he does a good job with them. So it's Kyoji's antagonistic, and Shorts over there is, well, yeah. He's very friendly. And he's, as Dai says, a German ninja.
He pilots the Shadow Gundam, and he also uses substitution jutsus.
And a katana.
And Shirk.
Yeah, and he uses a katana. Does he use a katana to chop down a tree or something? Or chop a building in half? I know it was over the top stupid.
No, yeah. Plenty of buildings get kicked miles away from people not even in their Gundams.
So yeah.
What, did you think this show was grounded? Are you high?
Anyway, so yeah, he does good as both of them. Oh, should also mention real quick, Kyoji, since, you know, we mentioned earlier, he was the one that brought up the Dark Gundam. Yes, in Japan it is called the Devil Gundam. And it also has its own army of mindless drones called the Dark Army, or Devil or Death Army in Japan. The Dark Army. That sounds racist.
Wow.
Anyway. Okay, but moving on. Next, we have the Narrator Kun, or apparently he's named as Stalker. That is brilliant. Because he opens every episode, it basically closes off every episode 2 of the preview. And yeah, it looks like he's stalking the pro tags.
It's time for the moment you've all been waiting for. Domon is arrested.
That preview was great. Yeah, we watched every preview just to hear this guy, because he goes all in. He knows that it's dumb and he does not care. But yeah, the previews, so it always starts with the time for the moment everyone's been waiting for. And then that one, Domon gets arrested. Or when Sai Saishi first shows up, Domon gets followed around by an annoying kid. It's like, that is the last thing I was waiting for. Why are you hyping this up, man? Anyway, he's voiced by Steve Olsen, who's General Roto in Dragon Ball GT's Blue Water dub, and Captain Gold in Tideline Blue. So the 2 major named roles I could find by him. And yeah, he's another one that definitely deserves praise for this dub. He went all out. Unless you've got anything else to add with Stalker.
The best name.
I love how he talks condescendingly to the viewer at certain points at the beginning of each episode. He's like, well, I bet you didn't see that coming, now did you? Well, don't worry, because it's about to get better.
And man, does it get better.
So yeah, the narrator's a legend. After him, we have Prime Minister Wong, who's basically the sponsor of the tournament. And you'll find out he's very shady really quickly. He makes no surprise hiding it. Yeah. Kind of like Eric Bischoff.
He also likes ham.
He hams it up to the max. Anyway.
Mr. East.
That's what he nicknames Master Asia. He calls him Mr. East. He's voiced by Ben Jeffrey, who you'd all probably know as Gene Freaks from Hunter x Hunter in 1999 dub, and Cell from the Blue Water dub. I kind of want to hear this guy ham it up as Cell, I'm gonna be honest. I might look that up later.
Or what kind of voices he does for Imperfect Cell?
Well, no, it's Cell in GT.
Oh.
Yeah.
That
So, you know, he'd only be Perfect Cell. During that arc of wasted potential where everyone came back. Damn it, GTY.
Wasted potential. Sounds like the current status of of Dragon Ball in general, am I right?
But yeah, Ben Jeffrey does a really good job as Wong. He, again, just like a lot of these voice actors, he hams the hell out of his role up. He knows he said something stupid and he does not care. And I think that's the thing here. If this show took itself dead serious, it would fall apart really... Yeah, it would fall apart really quickly. But it knows not to.
It does not take itself serious for a second.
Well, we're almost done with the major mains. Next, we have Allenby, the representative of Neo Sweden, which... Isn't her Gundam a Sailor Scout?
It's essentially dressed like one.
I just... What the could you imagine that? That's what apparently Japan thought of Sweden at this time. Well, maybe they're big Sailor Moon fans. Yes! Anyway, she's voiced by... What?
And apparently, like most Bleach characters, and a majority of the cast, they're also bisexual.
They're what? Oh yeah, she is. Yeah.
Like every character is. It's like, is this where Bleach got from?
Well, she's voiced by Carol Allenday, who me and Dai also know as Misaki from Cardfight Vanguard, literally one of the main characters of the whole franchise. And she's Chi-Chi in Dragon Ball's Blue Water dub. The voice of evil. Get that away. Get Chi-Chi out of here.
Oh, how unfortunate.
And she's another one that I can definitely say improved when she got to Vanguard a decade later. We couldn't even tell it was her from Vanguard, because back then... it's the best way to put this. Very Canadian.
Like some of the odd voices?
Yeah. It's... I don't know, man, but she did alright, I guess. But alright, now it's time for some of the more, I guess, recurring characters. First being the ring announcer. Which, oh no, why this name? No! Mariette Sloiter? That is a weird name.
They had a name?
No, that's the voice actor's name.
Oh.
The character's name is literally just ring announcer, from what I could tell.
Stalker's a better name.
I mean, maybe she did have a name, but I don't care to remember it, do you? She's just ring announcer, man. She commentates the matches. Anyway.
Yeah, but it's like one of the best characters in Dragon Ball.
Yeah, so she's voiced Asuka and Sayaka in Fancy Lala, and Midori in My Hime. And... yeah, she's also double casted in this show as one of the harem members from Chivity Crockett's team. Because make no mistake, Blue Water also has that silly issue.
Difference is, this was how long ago?
True. Anyway, yeah, she tams it up as the ring announcer too. Especially during the special match types, you know, where they have to do tornado tag matches. Or a match with electric ropes around the ring with explosives below the ring.
Oh, the classic death match.
Huh. I'm pretty sure that has happened at some point. Someone can let me know if it has or not. And yeah, this anime is literally just wrestling the anime. There's no denying it. You have face turns, heel turns. The characters fight in sanctioned matches with rules that are constantly broken by corrupt officials or whatever behind the scenes. And it builds up to them doing their finisher to end the match. Like, come on, it's literally wrestling. But here's the question. Who would the Roman Reigns be of this show? Your answer's supposed to be no one.
I don't know, all the characters seem to have a personality.
You can believe that. Alright.
I mean, no one's a Mary Sue.
Yeah. I'll just mention a couple more. One that needs special mention is Miccolo, the Neo-Italy representative. This guy is literally insane.
He's doing the greatest voice.
Dude, a lot of his lines remind me of Brian Drummond's Vegeta. You heard what I was talking about when he shouted his attack names. He's over the top as hell and knows it. He's like, I would sell my soul to evil if I could defeat Domon. I will defeat Domon. He's just... the guy's psychotic. Anyway...
Here first, guys. You Italians are psychotic.
Well, he's voiced by Jonathan Love, one of our ADR directors, but I'm not mad at this one. I'm really not, because Piccolo is amazing. The voice he did for him was great.
And he's like, what?
5 episodes or
4
so.
or 5?
Yeah. Well, he's known for voicing Mr. Mark from Cardfight Vanguard, another character who hams it the hell up.
A far cry from this role.
And Leorio in Hunter x Hunter's 1999 dub, which I really want to hear what voice he did for him in that. Yeah, he's definitely one worth mentioning. And the last thing I guess I'll mention, for some reason, Domon in this anime is 20. Yet a few years earlier, when he was in his mid-teens, had a different voice actor. Why?
I don't know. It's not even really worth mentioning since it was only like 2 lines.
Well, if anyone's curious, his teen voice actor was Matthew Erickson, known for Trunks in the Blue Water dub and Nobuo and Nana. And yeah, he's only in like 2 episodes. I just think that's weird.
Like
they went out of the way to get someone to play that. What's up?
And it was just like, what, 1.5 lines to a line each of those episodes.
Yeah. But alright, now that we've covered the main people worth mentioning, and yeah, I know people are like, well, you missed a couple, but we would literally be here all year. There's way too many. Let's just talk about some of the silly dubisms from when this aired on Toonami, because some of them are fucking hilarious.
Gonna go get drunk on that coffee, huh?
Yeah, there's a scene where a character is depressed, so he goes to the bar and is getting drunk on coffee at the bar. Even though, like, they refuse to mention alcohol or anything like that until later, where champagne is literally name-dropped. I am so confused.
They can't even be consistent.
I also think it's hilarious they can't mention the words death, murder, kill, or die, but they can mention perish, or lose your life, or even have a character from Neo Nepal who's an assassin, and say what his profession is. Which, by the way, gotta bring that up. The assassin dude from Neo Nepal is a blind dude. Why are so many anime from the 80s and 90s the only ones to do that sort of thing?
Ironic, since it was also inspired by Seiya.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, the Gundams, they glow gold when they go, what is it, hyper mode?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said he was inspired by the Golden Saints, not Super Saiyan Goku or whatever. That he was trying to avoid looking like he was copying that. But yeah, so...
I mean, he even floats in the middle of the water on a leaf while standing on his toe.
Yeah, they're like, he's concentrating all of his energy into that one spot, so he's able to stand up there effortlessly. What? Okay. What I thought was funny was he was angry that he lost his sight, and that's his whole motivation, or whatever. It's like, dude, you're actually doing pretty fine without it in these fights. But anyways, yeah, so, I guess a couple other things to mention.
The Sigma virus.
Yeah, the Sigma virus. People becoming cyborg zombies. There was one scene... What's up?
You mean D cells?
Yeah, DG cells. Dark Gundam cells.
They didn't even have to change that. It's just the same letter.
But yeah. Let's see, one thing you and I noticed was there was one scene where every time Domon calls out his Gundam, he goes, Rise, Shining, or Burning Gundam. In Season 2, when he's using the Burning Gundam, he says Shining Gundam and the Burning Gundam shows up. That was definitely, like, just... It only happens once, but still.
Literally once. Sometimes he just says Gundam.
Rise Gundam.
Or not even Rise. Not even consistent at what he says.
But hey, I mean, the show is dubbed singing in it. I know it's them singing one of America's national anthems or whatever, but still, it counts, damn it. I do think there's something hilarious about it, by the way. Canadians are singing the American national anthem.
Speaking of that episode...
What about it?
Clowns.
I don't even remember what nation that dude represents, but... Yeah, the clowns. A group of clowns shooting up civilians Joker style. I told you I couldn't take it seriously. It was too stupid. I don't know if you were or not, but I couldn't. It was too stupid.
I'm surprised the clown wasn't used more outside of that episode. I mean, he had the ability to copy other people's abilities.
That's true. But yeah. I guess the other thing is some of the ad voices' mic qualities are lower than the main characters. Hell, with some of their voice acting qualities a hell of a lot lower than the main characters, too.
I mean, some of them have the thickest Canadian voices ever.
Yeah, and like, I'm pretty sure we even heard a couple of those ad voices do the whole A thing at the end of their sentences.
Like,
so yeah, it's definitely a Canada-dubbed anime. Let's see. The other silly mess-ups that I could think of. I mean, there's one moment in the preview where Narrator Kun says GOG instead of Kyoji. It only happens once, though. It's one of those you blink miss it moments.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna fuck up, only do it once.
But hey, at least all the Gundams have voice filters when they're in them, and they're consistent. I don't know.
But the Dark Gundam is defeated.
Resurrection of the Dark Gundam. Stupid
The very next episode.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, they have the Four Heavenly Kings, which are a group of antags, but in the dub they call them the Evil Kings. Because remember, you gotta get that religious reference out of here. Late 90s, early 2000s TV were stupid. Anyways, there's not much else to really say. The dub is obviously going to be dated in spots, but again, you can obviously forgive it with how old it is. And how it was done out of Blue Water, which is considered the B-tier studio. Kind of like Sentai is today, am I right? What? You got anything to say to that?
Yes.
Well, this is a joke. Come on, guys. I know there's plenty of really, really good Sentai dubs. One fell swoop.
I don't know how you missed that.
But yeah. I'm glad I finally got to see G Gundam. Remember, I have no nostalgic attachment to this either, so I could give my honest thoughts. This show is over-the-top stupid. Best way to sum it up. If you want something that's just over-the-top dumb as hell, then it's for you.
It doesn't take itself seriously. It gives you Gundam fights. If you're tired of that pesky political space talk.
Yeah, honestly, your enjoyment of this anime is literally just gonna hinge on, are you into over-the-top stupid?
Are you into over-the-top stupid? Well, if you like shonens at all, then, and if the answer is no, then why do you like shonens?
Yeah, or if you like wrestling at all. Tornado tag matches.
I don't think it's a coincidence that a lot of the fan base that really love this show are also wrestling
So just love that. The following match stipulation will be a match surrounded by electrical ropes with explosives beneath the ring.
You don't win in the time limit, you both explode.
Yeah, didn't fucking, during that match, one of the competitors actually use the ropes to jump off of it?
To speed up their attack.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. This anime is great. But yeah. Again, that's when it gets to the tournament. Honestly, the first half, I feel, was okay, in my opinion, but the second half is when the show gets amazing and really picks up when it gets to the tournament.
Character introduction and world building.
Yeah. As far as the story behind the scenes, it's just meant there to service as the reason they're all fighting. No one's going to consider this Shakespearean or anything, but it's God knows how stupid it is.
Especially with how it just keeps on going. By the way, why don't you ride a horse that's piloting Gundam into space?
Master Asia is the sole reason to watch this show. He literally reaches into a... You see him reach into a fire to get a piece of food, and he doesn't end up getting burned at all.
That's just... Yeah. But remember what he said during the recap episode? He's gonna become Master Super Asia and be the undefeated of all directions.
North, east, south, west, and center! All directions! I will rule them all. Center's not really cardinal direction, man. But yeah.
Are you really gonna try to tell him that?
No. Isn't there a scene where he's actually standing on lasers too, or something like that?
Yeah, he's jumping off of lasers being fired by the Dork army with just his plain feet. He's not even in a gun. Yeah. No, I could see why this anime is considered a classic, though. This was great. And obviously the Neo countries are stereotypical, but come on, guys. Have fun with it. You're not meant to take it super seriously. Look at Neo Mexico being shaped like a sombrero. Statue of Liberty Death Cannon. I mean, hey, the main for the final arc of the series, the main antagonist is Neo Japan. Actually, it's a good point. Anyways, if you haven't seen it yet, highly suggest it. The Blu-rays are out there now, which is probably the best quality to watch it, and I'd suggest. Because I'm going to hazard a guess the old DVDs from back in the day probably don't hold up as well with some of their old animations since they're not remastered. And I don't know. And I had way too many of these Gundam figures. Well, I hope you're happy, Di. We did your pick. The pick of the G's. What does the G stand for, anyways? Whatever it wants to, apparently. Because it can't be Gundam. Mobile Fighter Gundam Gundam? Actually, that would make sense. They say the winner of the tournament will be the Gundam of all Gundams. Maybe that is what they're going for. I mean, hard not to be when you're piloting something called the God Gundam. Pretentious much. The God finger technique. I honestly think Burning Gundam does sound cooler, makes it sound more unique. Even though Burning Finger being his super, with Chibity Crockett's finisher being, what is it, the Burning Punch? Makes it a little redundant. Or Bursting Machine Gun Punch. Yeah, that's his new super, or a second super. Yeah, everyone has a signature and a super, or two super moves. See, it's literally wrestling. But, rambled on long enough. I guess next will be the suggestions time. I hope I don't get suggested garbage, please. Please, guys. Show him how much you love him. Well, whatever this suggests can't be bad as Gilgamesh. Are you? I mean that too. No, there is nothing that could be that bad. But alright. Are you really challenging the internet?
What is the way you all thought of G Gundam, and why Master Asia is the greatest character to ever exist in the Gundam universe?
Or why you too probably have a Master Gundam figure.
Yeah, or that. Oh, I guess lastly, real quick, Yasuhiro himself, when asked about in an interview in 2011, a decade ago, would he be open to the idea of making a sequel to G Gundam? He said that he does have a thought in his head about how the plot would go, so if the Studio Sunrise ever came to him, he would be willing to do it. And with how anime nowadays is more or less just predicated on reviving old IPs, actually that's everything, isn't it? Even Hollywood's trying to do shitty remakes. I think we might see a G Gundam follow-up. Hell, we're getting a Gundam Seed follow-up next year.
That's ignoring Destiny.
Yeah, he doesn't like Destiny very much. I haven't seen it yet. But this has definitely kickstarted my interest in wanting to see more Gundam, so yes, I'll be covering Wing and some of the other Gundam series eventually.
Gundam Edge Lords. It's literally a fucking laser death scythe. Come on.
Go get drunk on coffee, Die.
I already am. Wait, what?
What? You know what, that's it. I'm getting out of here and I'm taking all my love, my anger, and sorrow with me.
He only says that like 4 times.
Yeah, I don't know why that's such a big meme when it's only, he says that like 4 times. Again, I think it's because of the tonami.
Finger, that probably should be more memeable.
Like I said, I think it's the tonami ads, because when I was researching this, I pulled up some of the old tonami ads, and they kept playing that stupid clip. Which might be why people remember him. Yeah, that might be why people remember him saying it more, because if you see that ad like 1 billion times back in the day...
Especially when it's airing every day.
Yeah. Hell, it even re-ran a few times on Toonami. Anyway, though, we dragged this out long enough. We're out of here, and next time will be a suggestion. Which one yet? I don't know. I've seen a few of them, and so I guess I'll pick one and go from there. Dai won't be on that next one, though, because he'll be indisposed next week, won't you?
Fine.
Which means you're probably going to ask me to pick the shittiest looking one out of everything, aren't you? So I have to suffer through it alone.
Well, no, your luck, you'll pick it anyways.
But alright. Till next time, guys. Hope you all enjoyed, and if you haven't seen G Gundam yet, seriously go watch it. It's just fun stupid. It's great. And until next time, hope you all have a great day, and yeah. Like, comment, subscribe for Master Asia. He'll want you to. Till next time, guys. Kyoji!